And from despair isn't merely a side effect of its twisted narrative, it's the driving force of its enigmatic ecosystem. The town's purpose transcends its surface horrors, hinting at an intricately designed experiment to sustain entities known as the Keepers. This chilling theory draws undeniable parallels to the cabin in the woods, where human suffering was meticulously orchestrated to appease godlike forces. The connections run deep: a system of despair, an omnipresent manipulator, and a protagonist with ties to the machinery of terror. Could From be a darker, more psychological cousin to the infamous cabin experiment? The Keepers are no mere monsters. Cloaked in myth and menace, they represent a primal force requiring human despair as sustenance. Like the cabin in the woods' ancient gods, the Keepers' demands are unrelenting, shaping the town into a meticulously controlled environment designed to extract maximum misery. Every night, the town's residents are hunted by creatures embodying their deepest fears, a mechanism eerily similar to the manipulated horrors in the cabin in the woods. In both narratives, the systems are crafted to ensure despair reaches a potent threshold. One of From's most intriguing elements is Jim's occupation as an amusement park engineer. At first glance, it seems irrelevant. Yet, when re-examined through the lens of this theory, it becomes crucial. Jim's expertise lies in creating spaces that evoke emotion, joy, excitement, awe. What if his skills were co-opted to design the town, a reverse amusement park where despair replaces joy? This concept mirrors the technicians in the cabin in the woods, whose job was to design and manipulate scenarios to harvest fear. If Jim's past includes a connection to the man in the yellow suit, a former collaborator turned adversary, it would explain the latter's fixation on Jim and his family. The man in the yellow suit, who may also be the voice on the radio, embodies the system's sinister control. His knowledge of Jim's past and his ability to influence events suggest he plays a dual role: tormentor and architect. He might view Jim's attempt to escape his past involvement as a betrayal, using his radio transmissions to draw Jim back into the nightmare. In the cabin in the woods, horror was a calculated performance. Each victim played a role, manipulated into terrorizing scenarios, all to feed the gods. Similarly, From's residents are unwitting actors in a grim ritual designed to sustain the Keepers. Shared mechanisms of control. Both narratives use controlled environments to elicit despair. In the cabin in the woods, scientists pull strings behind the scenes. In From, the man in yellow fulfills a similar role, manipulating residents into psychological traps. The engineers of torment. Jim's role as an engineer mirrors the technicians in the cabin in the woods, whose job was to perfect the architecture of fear. If Jim had a hand in designing the town's mechanisms, his plight becomes both tragic and ironic. The ultimate stakes. The gods in the cabin in the woods required appeasement to prevent catastrophe. Similarly, the Keeper's demands may be tied to broader consequences, suggesting a grim bargain made for humanity's survival. The stakes in From go beyond individual suffering. Jim's potential role as an unwitting architect and Tabitha's growing determination to uncover the truth highlight the show's thematic core: sacrifice. Jim's death, orchestrated by the man in yellow, might serve multiple purposes: breaking Tabitha's resolve, perpetuating the cycle of despair, and ensuring the Keeper's satisfaction. Tabitha's resilience positions her as a threat to the system, echoing the defiance seen in the cabin in the woods. Could she dismantle the mechanisms of despair, or will she become another victim of the town's merciless design? If From is indeed an homage to the cabin in the woods, it transforms into a deeply psychological allegory about control, complicity, and humanity's darkest deals. The Keepers become symbols of our willingness to sacrifice a few for the many, while Jim's involvement as an engineer turned victim adds a tragic irony to the narrative. The man in the yellow suit emerges as a keystone figure, tying the threads of the town's mysteries together. His role as both tormentor and architect mirrors the detached manipulators of the cabin in the woods, adding layers of menace to his character. This theory reframes From not just as a story of survival, but as a harrowing meditation on the cost of keeping the real monsters at bay. What lies ahead for the residents of the town, and for humanity itself?